now getting this part.
Disclaimer, I do not speak Arabic, but I'm going to try. Alan wa sahalan, which is intended to mean welcome. So everybody, welcome to Washington Dulles Airport. I'd like to start with a round of applause for tonight's musician who is playing the oud, an instrument named after the Arabic word meaning a piece of wood and a key instrument in Middle Eastern music, and the Debka group, who performed a traditional Debka dance that has origins in the Middle Eastern culture. We enjoyed it very much. Let's give them a round of applause. So, you know, the music and the dance, they serve as entertainment, but they're also what we consider universal languages because they connect people, and connection is precisely why we are all here tonight. Because in just a couple of hours, just two, United will become the only North American airline, let me say that last one again. In just a couple of hours, United will become the only North American airline to serve Amman as we connect our nation's capital to the capital of Jordan. So, by way of introduction, my name is Eddie Gordon, and I am United's Managing Director of Airport Operations at the beautiful Washington Dulles Airport. And on behalf of United, I am excited to welcome our employees and customers, dignitaries and airport officials, media members, and senior leaders with United to celebrate the connection of Washington, D.C. and Amman, Jordan. So, undoubtedly, this is an exciting day for our airline, for our airport, and for our entire region. And before we begin, I'd like to do two things. The first of which is I'd like to thank our United employees, especially those on the front line, who have been professionally and admirably welcoming travelers throughout the difficulties of operating an airline during a pandemic. I thank you so much for your hard work, your steadfast commitment to excellence, and your impressive tenacity. So let's give them a round of applause. Secondly, I wanted to give you a visual with words of the beauty that is Jordan. And because my words would be incapable of doing so, I found a poem that could accomplish precisely that. It is called The Jordanian Itinerancy. Across lands of streets, stone and desert, a breeze in a waltz for trees to avert, I flow with the freedom of a river and a bay, across mountains and winds with passion I sway. From the historical Petra, upon the purity of its sands, to the salty waters of the Dead Sea, prosperity in hands. At height upon its mountains, O Allah, I pray, embellish with the sunset of Wadi Rum, nature sleeps to allay. I mosey upon its Rabia streets, accompanied by its tender gust. I inhale the freshness of its varying cuisine, filled with utter lust. Gazing at its marvel in a background of family mirth, across my grandma's balcony, Jordan fills the earth. Now, if that doesn't give you a visual of the beauty of Jordan, I'm afraid nothing will, so I won't even try. Now, without further ado, I'd like to take a moment to introduce United Senior Vice President of International Network and Alliances, the man, the myth, the legend, the person without whom none of us would be here today, who is also a personal friend of mine, Mr. Patrick Quayle.
Well, thank you, Eddie, for the warm welcome, and I appreciate the fashion that you have. It's pretty impressive. Really want to echo what Eddie said and welcome everybody here tonight for joining us on this really special trip to Amman, Jordan. You know, it comes at the beginning of what is going to be and what is the largest transatlantic expansion ever. This flight starts off what is a multi-week journey of adding capacity across the Atlantic Ocean, where United will become the single largest airline in the world across the Atlantic. And that's a first. And that's really impressive, and we're really proud of that. And it starts tonight with Amman, Jordan. And if you look at what we're doing, we're adding more destinations than every other U.S. airline combined serves across the Atlantic. And that's pretty impressive. And for me, it's a personal journey. If you look, back as a child, I remember watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and everyone remembers the famous scene at the end when they come into Petra, and it's these beautiful building behind us, behind the flight tents actually. And now, 30 years later, we're actually able to go there. We're able to connect the capital of the U.S. to the capital of Jordan. We're able, in simply 10 hours, to be in a whole different world and see the beauty and the majesty, which is the Kingdom of Jordan. And so it's really special to do that. We're doing it with our best aircraft, the Boeing 787, with a beautiful new Polaris interior, United Premium Plus, and our main cabin as well. And so I hope all of our guests join us tonight and have a wonderful experience. With that, I'd like to welcome our friend, Her Excellency, the Ambassador to Jordan, up here to speak and give a few remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patrick, and thank you for. I love your dress, by the way. Is that how you go to work? Now. Thank you, Mr. Portman. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, everyone. And I'm thankful for you for taking the first flight. This is fantastic. And I'm very jealous I can't go with you, but for reasons, professional reasons, I can. But I'm so excited that finally we can actually take the flight direct, because there's so much, and I'm sure that this flight is going to be very busy, because from government, first of all, the American government itself will be taking it, and they fly often, and from e-business and from tourism and the beauty of Jordan, which you described so beautifully. And so I want to thank you all and tell you how excited we are to start this, because in our bilateral relations, this is a very important step. It will relate the two capitals finally. And I wish you all a very good evening. I can't say more except that I look forward to all of you visiting Jordan, for those who haven't been a few times, because he seems to be a regular there. So all the best of luck, and I hope you get to enjoy Jordan, even for 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We just wanted to remind you that we are honored that you joined us tonight, and want to acknowledge you and thank you for the incredible work that you have done, that you do, and that we're confident you will continue to do. So thank you. So tonight's energy is a bit electric, which I think is outstanding. But I want to take a second, because making this flight a possibility required a tremendous amount of work from a lot of people behind the scenes who we often fail to acknowledge. So I wanted to say thank you to Ed Pivick, to Nicole Carrier, and Russ Carlton for all that they did to make this happen. You know, without you, I wouldn't be standing up here in this awesome outfit, having this awesome discussion with you all. So our next speaker is going to be the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs, Mr. Ethan Goldridge.
Hello, good evening everyone, Masal Khair. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you all, and many thanks to United Airlines for inviting the Department of State to celebrate this inaugural flight. The partnership and friendship between the United States and Jordan is one that we deeply value and appreciate. In a region too often characterized by uncertainty and instability, Jordan has always been a stalwart friend to the United States, working hand in hand on a range of shared goals and interests. So I am very honored to help launch this next step in our friendship. Capitals tend to be the first place that travelers visit when they journey to a new country for the first time. This new flight between Washington and Amman will provide Jordanians and Americans alike with new opportunities to experience the richness of our two capitals and serve as a gateway to the rest of our magnificent countries, from iconic sites such as Petra and the Lincoln Memorial, and breathtaking landscapes such as Wadi Rum and the Grand Canyon, As our relationship with Jordan continues to grow, this nonstop flight strengthens the people-to-people connection between our two great nations. We're all travel enthusiasts at the State Department, and one of our greatest privileges is encouraging everyone to partake in the joys that we are so fortunate to experience because of the nature of our jobs. I know many of my colleagues in the U.S. government who travel frequently to Jordan are especially excited about the direct flight. While this is a particular boon to those of us in the diplomatic corps, anyone with family and friends in the other country will be equally excited to book this flight the next time they travel between Washington and Amman. The flight would not be possible without Jordan's 26-year agreement with the United States as part of the U.S. Open Skies policy, which celebrates its 30th anniversary this year. I want to especially thank Ambassador Kowar and United Airlines for their partnership in establishing this route. It is evident by their efforts there is mutual enthusiasm to further the connection between Americans and Jordanians. Considering how much travel from the United States to Jordan originates out of Washington, we're thrilled that this route is offered multiple times a week, and we can't wait to see the demand for this route increase in the future. I wish all travelers on this inaugural flight and the many flights to follow safe travels and a bon voyage.
Patrick, I'll say you're welcome. All right, so our final speaker for the evening is going to be Mr. Jack Potter, who's the president and CEO of Metropolitan Washington Airports. Look, I always enjoy working with Jack and his team, and I know tonight is just as meaningful for you all as it is for United. So come up here and share a couple of words with us.
Thank you, Eddie. I've learned that when I come to these events, never dress other than in a very business attire, because you can't compete with Eddie, right? So let me just thank Patrick Quayle for your leadership. Music to our ears that you're going to continue to grow here, Patrick. And we're very excited, Your Excellency, that Amman, Jordan is kicking off the growth that's anticipated. We serve 39 capitals around the world. And so we're delighted to have Amman join, and we're thrilled that such a beautiful city will be connected to our city here. Of those 39, by the way, United serves 26. So we know that number's going to continue to grow. I want to thank all of the staff, the United staff, the crew. A lot of people put this together. The airport also has folks that helped accommodate this. And so we're thrilled. We're thrilled to have Amman amongst the list of destinations that you can go directly from our nation's capital to your nation's capital, Your Excellency. And thank you all for coming tonight. Eddie, back to you.
If I don't acknowledge Mali Asfour from the Jordan Tourism Board and her team who started this whole idea, but thankfully she was so stubborn that she managed to work. So to her and to her team, thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone, to all of our guest speakers tonight. Clearly you recognize the importance of the connection between DC and Amman, and I'm going to put on my work hat because I really do want an on-time departure. I don't want the delay reason to be Eddie. Okay, so boarding's going to begin shortly, and to anyone who will be on tonight's flight, on behalf of the entire United team, I want to say thank you for flying with us, and I hope you have a wonderful trip. Now, I'd like to invite all of our guest speakers, tonight's crew. You guys look amazing, by the way. I just can't say it enough. And a few of the Dulles employees come up for the ribbon cutting and a photo.
Mom.
I'm
going to ask you a little bit more friendly. Please move in a little bit more.
Okay, don't cut yet. We'll do a picture of everyone looking up at the cameras and smiling. Ready to cut, but not yet. Look up this way. Oop. Okay, so we're going to cut. We'll go 1, 2, and then when you hear cut is when you cut.
Okay.
Okay? 1, 2, cut.